you are a B2B service-based business owner and you are looking to gain more clients, create more impact and more revenue in your business, tune in to Amplify Your Marketing Message with Campbell Rapin. Every week, we're going to take you through how to build an audience of buyers, mastering your marketing message, and making offers. Today, I want to ask you a question that has the power with compound effect to change the trajectory of your business in the next 6 months, 12 months, and beyond. Can you find 1 hour? And guys, that's not a rhetorical question. Legitimately, I'm asking, can you find 1 hour to chase your business dream? Seems simple. And most people would say, Christine, yeah, an hour? Seriously? I work way more than that. Well, you do. You're busy, but not effective. And so today I want to give you brass tacks on what to focus on and how I built momentum in my early days working as a side hustler, freelancer, to the business I have now, where non-negotiable, that principle still exists. And we run a very successful global consulting firm. If you're new here, welcome. This is Amplify Your Marketing Message. I am your host, Campbell Rapin. I am a business mentor who helps emerging entrepreneurs build their first $1 million in predictable revenue with consistent client growth because they have the right foundations in place. They know what to say, who to say it to, when to say it, how to be seen as the must hire, and they lead the sales conversation to a decision. They also recognize this truth. I can't control whether that decision is positive. Yes, we're going ahead, here's my credit card, or no, I'm on a hold pattern, I'm going to stay in my comfort zone. And because we know we can't control the outcome, what we can control is the volume. How many offers are we getting out there? And so it goes back to this question. I'm going to ask it again. Can you find and commit 1 hour to me? I hear you. The answer is yes. And so let me remind you now forevermore that you said you would find an hour. Because I think what I want to say to you all is, where did this all begin? When I decided to start a business, it was the most irrational decision I was probably ever facing. I was in a new corporate job. I'd been in the role about 6 months. It involved a heavy amount of travel. I spent at least 50% of my time, up to 75, on the road, building a large geographic territory. I'm in Canada and around half the country. And I was planning a wedding. I was 90 days out from our wedding day. We were merging households, building fences, landscaping backyards, and doing a million things. And the idea that I could start a business in all of this was not super rational. But if you've been around my block for a while, you know super rational isn't the way I play. It's I go after what I want. And I was invited through a conversation to decide if I wanted to start a business. I didn't get out of bed on Wednesday thinking I would do that, but I could see the possibility. And while I had a highly committed calendar, I thought if I can commit 1 hour, I can get started. And getting started is sometimes the biggest challenge, because while I said it's an hour and you said it was easy, I will watch you struggle to find that hour until you decide that 1 hour is the freedom pathway I need. And so I was hesitating, thinking all the normal excuses every business owner faces. Do I have the stability? What about my health insurance? Can I really do this? Maybe it's not the right time. Maybe I don't have enough money. All of that crap story that was going on in my brain. And I was looking at myself in the mirror. And I thought, wow, I'm just scared. Because truly, it's not a money thing. If you go into business thinking you're going to save money, you have missed the whole memo of what business is. Money is about every step in the business being expanded. So if you come into business thinking you're going to save your way to success, guys, stop, quit the field, go get a job. You have to be prepared to invest, and money should be multiplying. If your money's not multiplying, again, you are fundamentally off track. Take a course correction. So it really wasn't about money. I had to be prepared to get skin in the game, and I knew that. And truthfully, if I'd walked by a red Kate Spade handbag, I would have bought the red Kate Spade handbag And that was worth more money than it would have been to start my business. So again, BS, it's not a money thing. If you're waiting for money to get business going, guys, you don't want it enough. Because this isn't about saving your way to success, it's about expanding your way to success. And money should be multiplying. So once I got past it wasn't a money thing, I thought it's a time thing, and that was true. And my mentor has this phrase, everybody's so busy. All of us are busy. We all have the same 24 hours. Yes, we don't use it all the same way. And I had lots of previous commitments that were already in calendar. What was not in the calendar was me. Focusing on me, focusing on what I wanted. And that was a massive oversight that would have led me to the path that Bill talks about. Busyville, leaning to Brokeville, leaning to Burnoutville. And I was like, I've got to carve out some space for me. And in my case, business was my playground. I knew the game. I made lots of people many millions of dollars in my corporate life. And I knew that I could make money. It was a skill set. I just needed to shift the lens and make money for myself. And so I said to myself, this is ridiculous. It's not a money thing. You get to choose how you spend your time. So it's not a time thing. It's a priority problem. And when do you get to be a priority? And I thought, now is the perfect decision. Right now. Now is the time I get to put me first. And so I said to myself, I'm in. And I said to my fiance at the time, my now husband, I need 1 hour a day for me. And guys, that again, 1 hour doesn't seem like a lot, but I had to really prioritize that commitment. And he said, okay. And in our time, if I look back in the rearview mirror, our bonus kids, my bonus kids and the Hudson's children were teenagers. So they had busy lives too, but they really were obsessed with the TV show Friends. I actually watched it on the original Thursday night must-see TV, but they were watching Friends as the series that was family time. And I said, you guys get 2 episodes of Friends while I will go build my business. And I started building my business an hour a day. I knew what to focus on, sales, getting in front of more people, knowing what to say, knowing who to say it to, and making the ask. And if I spend 1 hour a day over the course of the next 12, 18 months, I would be generating anywhere from $30,000 to $50,000. And I thought if I could do this for a couple of years, I would create an extra $100,000 of revenue. What would we use that money for? We had goals, retirement, playing more today, not someday. And so I started building an hour a day. And then I was talking to my peers, other entrepreneurs who are in the startup phase. And I met them in networking groups. I met them in chambers of commerce events and other community events that bring new business owners together. And I watched my peers work 40, 60, 80 hours a week. They've taken the entrepreneur test, you know, the one. I'll work 40, 60, 80 hours a week, sometimes 100, just so I don't have to work for somebody else. But here's the difference between them and I. I was creating revenue, and they were not. And it goes back to this again, you're busy. And I think if you have at all been influenced by social media, you've been led a crap story. You've been taught a lot of sizzle instead of the substance of business foundations. You've been taught you need to be a best-selling author, you need to have a podcast, you need to run a summit, you need to have a new logo, you have to have this website, you have to have this complicated funnel. Any of this sound familiar? I think all those things are awesome, and in today, we have all those things in our business. But I didn't start there. I started with 1 hour. And truthfully, I had clients and a whole year of business success with revenue and predictable client growth without ever having a website, without ever having the book, without ever having the podcast, without ever buying funnels and complicated crap. And to this day, I still advocate strongly, and you know this if you've been around the block for a few weeks or years, business is elegantly simple, guys. It's not effortless, but you are focused on the complicated instead of the simple things. So I want to take it further. So if you can commit, again, I'm saying 1 hour. We have a program, just so you know, it's called the 30-day client enrollment lead sprint. It's built on this principle of an hour. If you really just need business development focus time, you promise me the hour, I'll show you how to use it. in this program, what happens is I will tell you every day it takes about 3 minutes to listen to my voice. So if you can listen to this episode, you can be sure you can listen to the daily task. And all I need you to do is execute it. The execution should be planned in 30 to 60 minutes. Because that's really enough momentum and action to get started. If you need business to deliver more than $30,000 to $50,000 and you're looking for a six-figure or north element of success, then guys, you're going to need more than an hour. And I can guarantee you, you all committed really easily. 1 hour was not a problem. I'm looking at you. I can hear you. You are not spending an hour on your business doing business development activity. You take one-to-one meetings that go nowhere. You go to networking rooms you don't contribute in. You show up as a spectator, and my guys, you need to fire your butt. You are a bad employee. You have one task as the business owner, and it is sales. So I was leading a session in a community a couple of weeks ago, and I told them about how business works. And I'll ask the same question. Can you find me an hour? And I don't mean an hour to write a book, to write a podcast, to go on stages, to do things like this. I need you to do an hour of sales development activity. And they're like, yep, we can all do it. And I said, okay, let's talk about your business numbers for a second. You've heard it before. There's an episode here on this podcast, probably several, in fact, that talk about the principle. 2 things predict your revenue in the next 90 days. Whether you are in front of enough highly qualified buyers, which is often referred to as, do we have enough leads? Prospects, potential buyers, and how many offers you're making. If you don't make any offers and you don't have any leads, guys, you don't have a business, you have a hobby, and it's very expensive. But when I was focusing 1 hour a day, I needed to first focus on what? Getting the leads piece of the puzzle. So let me just walk you through a math example, because I need you to get honest about whether you are in enough activity to support your financial goals, or whether you are in the right activity, but you're not effective at it, because you can solve both problems. We can help you do that. We have programs designed exactly for that purpose, but you must first decide you're going to solve it, because I can say, yes, give me an hour. And I would say, then use it effectively. So the first piece of the question is a volume game. And while I don't believe the game is always about volume, there is still a truth. If you have nobody to talk to, you have nobody to sell to. So let's just agree there's volume at play, although the pursuit of volume is not the end goal. Quality matters. So does volume. So let's just assume that you're going to make $120,000 of revenue a year. If we assume that we're going to work 12 months a year, what do we need? We need to make $10,000 a month, 12 months of the year. If you want to work only 6 months of the year, guys, just split it however much you're going to commit to your focus and do your own math. That's the only time I need you thinking about revenue as a macro number. You've set a goal, $10,000 a month. $10,000 a month times 12 is $120,000, right? Great. So now I need you to think about, what's your average client revenue in the history of your business? You might have a mix of offers and you might be selling only one thing, but I want you to, just for simple math reasons, pick the average. So let's use our business. We have 2 main programs that are group oriented. We're going to take one for simple math. In our 30-day to client enrollment lead sprint, which we've talked about already today, the price point is $997. So if I need to have $10,000 of revenue a month, I need what? 10 new enrolled clients in order to hit my revenue number. So in order for me to hit now and to bring on board with 10 new wins, how many offers do I need to be making? Well, if you don't have your own data, I want you to use a 10x multiple, which means if I need 10 clients, I needed to make 100 offers. As you get to be more effective and you have more frequency with your offers out into the marketplace, chances are you're going to get better. A great salesperson typically wins 2 to 3 of every offer. They win about 20 to 30%. So in our business, we range from 30% to 50%. Depends on what the offer is and depends on what the relationship has been with the person we're making the offer to. And a lot of our business has warm relationships in place because everyone experiences us typically before they hire us. through an event, through the podcast, through other ways of communication in real time. So let's assume 30%. So if I need 10 clients to make my $10,000 a month revenue goal, I need to make 30 offers every month, which means if I split that goal by day, one a day, assuming I want to work 7 days a week. If I don't want to work 7 days a week, I just condense it to the available working days. So now I go, well, now I know how many offers I need to make, and I should be measuring that. If I need 10 wins, I need 30 offers. If I need 30 offers, how many people do I need to be meeting to qualify who in the room's a buyer? Because here's the math. It's also the truth. And you guys need a wake-up call. Not everybody you meet is, one, a buyer, and two, ready to buy. And so again, I would use a 10-to-1 multiple. What does that mean? If I want to have 30 offers go out, I need to meet 300 people a month. If I am effective in my quality of the rooms I'm in, the conversations I hold, I might need to drop that down. And that might be, in fact, like it is for us, I need to get in front of 100 people. So I can get in front of 100 people to identify 30 potential buyers. If I identify 30 potential buyers, I have what? 10 great offers that are won, which means 10 new clients, which means I hit what? $10,000 of revenue. I do this 12 months of the year. I have a beautiful year that plays out as I need it to. So as you're listening to this, and if you follow the math, you are having this giant light bulb, and it's so freaking big I can see it from here. Oh my God, that's a lot of offers. Holy crap, I'm nowhere near that. And number two, oh my God, how on earth do I meet 300 people? Because I'm probably meeting a lot less than that. And this is your wake-up call, because that's the brass tacks of the numbers. If you are going to hit that revenue goal, you need to understand how you get there. Because writing a book or writing a podcast or changing your logo or writing a new website is not going to help you in the two things that mattered most. Conversation is the fastest path to this. And you need to check into your heart. Am I prepared for this level of activity? I've shown you a big full-on commitment. I also showed you what it looked like when I was just doing a side hustle. So let me just break that down a little further for you so you're clear. When I started my business goal, my goal was 30 to 50,000. So I didn't have 8 hours a day to work on my business. I committed what? 1 hour. In 1 hour, I could meet and talk to or to connect to 10 people. In that week, I could set 3 meetings. I could make 1 offer, and I could bring a client on board every month. And I asked if you could find an hour, but I want to be crystal clear. If you need a full-time salary and you need a full-time revenue, 1 hour will be insufficient. But I don't want to shoot for unicorns and rainbows. I want to say, can you find me an hour? Because you have to decide what problem you're solving. First, what's the math to get you to the outcome you want? 2, how much activity do I need to be in? 3, am I committed to doing that? And 4, how many hours do I need? And what is the most effective use of those hours? And please don't buy into the complexity that the world has sold you. Because when I was in this room a week ago, I had 2 key heartfelt messages that came back at me after the event. First one, maybe you can relate. When I did the math, I felt sick to my stomach. I'm chasing a business that doesn't have the revenue I can sustain because the activity level is off the charts. I need to rethink what I'm selling, how much I'm selling it for, and who I'm selling it to, because the math didn't math, and I've been trying to do this and it's not been working, and I feel broken, burnt out, and frustrated until today when I realized I have been trying to push this uphill. I've got the wrong pathway. Second email I got was from somebody else who said, I have been following what you've been teaching me, and I have won my largest ever revenue client. And because I was effective at helping my client create the result, they scaled back what they invested with us, which is a good news story. When your client gets the result, they may not need as much support, but it freed up capacity. And they said, because I built my pipeline, because I stayed in the activity of offers, visibility in the right rooms, I had 2 other clients that came in to replace and freed up that capacity. And guess what? That original client plus the new 2 clients netted them more money than they started the year with just the 1 client. And guys, that's the game. So for you, for this episode, what I really want you to be thinking about is a decision. How much focus do you have on your business development? Can you start with an hour a day? And if you started with that hour a day, do you know what to do that wins? Do you know what actually is needed? And if you do not, you should be sending us a message or going onto our website. ChristineCampbellRapin.com is the domain for it. And go look at our 30-day program. The 30-day program is only designed for you if you know what to say, who to say it to, and you just need a kick in the butt to go do it. If you're saying, okay, well, if I don't know what to say, or I'm not 100% it's landing effectively, or I know potentially I'm not in front of enough people, or I'm not in front of the right people, then you need something more. And I would like to talk to you about what that looks like, because yes, we have another solution for you, but you must solve this problem. Business is math. The inputs drive the outputs. I want you to win. And my friends, maybe nobody ever told you how to play the game. I've just done that. Please share this. Listen to it over again. Get out your pencils and papers. Do your own math. And then have an honest conversation. How do I make it work? Can I stay committed? And what is non-negotiable for me? Because when you do that, you'll win. And why am I in this business? Entirely. It's seeing the wins more frequently for the people that really are out here making big impact. And my friends, that is you. I'll see you on our next episode. That's a wrap on another amazing episode of Amplify Your Marketing Message with me, your host, Christine Campbell Rapin. Be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcast platform so you don't miss another great episode. And be sure to visit ChristineCampbellRapin.com/podcast to get a free